And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. From now until 5, we record live, and if you have a radio you want to check out the audio, give us a shout. We are recording now, and then we'll post it up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So later you can come by and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, and that will take you to our Qso-Vlog page. Also today we're running 4 internet SDR receivers monitoring Rochester, New York, Atlanta, Georgia, Alexandria, Virginia, and Milford, Pennsylvania, trying to get a better copy on our 100-watt friends. And also we're running 2 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed north and south and the other east and west. And plus we have a co-phase condition between the two, which many times represents about a 4 dB gain over either one of them by themselves. They are brought into the control room with a 3-position rotary switch for mag loop 1, mag loop 2, or the co-phase condition. So those are our working conditions. How about yours? This is KC9VKV, and this is the Qso-Vlog network. And as per usual, we'll call on Charlie, K1GZL, to advise us on how the conditions are going this afternoon. Charlie?
Good afternoon, Jim. Jim, KC9 Victor King Victor, K1GZL on this first day of November at local time 3:32 in the afternoon. You peaked 20 over 9 direct on your transmission. We are having horrible winds up here. And I'm surprised we haven't lost the power. We actually did a short time in the late morning for about 5 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds, then it came back on. I was just about to step into the tub, and everything went out, but it came back, and I was able to complete that task. So, I'll turn it back to you and see how you're copying which SDR. Here's a little bit of how you did sound on this one, the last one.
The Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. From now until 5, we record live. And if you have a radio you want to check out the audio, give us a shot. Usual, we'll call on Charlie, K1GZL, to advise us on how the conditions are going this afternoon. Charlie?
Okay, go ahead, Jim. K1GZ and an L.
Roger, Charlie. Thank you for that recording. Most excellent. And as you know, Charlie, I mentioned I was having a difficulty with one of my mag loop antennas just before we went on the air. And so I had to make a mad dash outside. And what it was, I have a breakaway for both of those mag loops outside because I have to use my analyzer at the antenna directly to tune precisely the resonant peak of the magnetic loop, and it's very, very critical. And those are mainly in our receive circuit, so I can't use like a transmit to look at the SWR. I actually have to take a meter out to the mag loops and adjust each one individually. And I guess they're still recuperating from a little rain. Both of those were running about 1.3 SWR this afternoon. Usually they're a little bit closer than that, but I guess 1.3 is not too bad. But anyway, I do have that breakaway point, and I guess when I put them back together, I kind of didn't put the one quite back together as much as I should have. Whoops! So I had to go back out and get that one plugged in a little bit better. So now I have both mag loops, and we shall see how the day goes. Roger.
Roger.
Okay, Roger, Jim. Yes, KC9VKV, K1GZL with hellacious winds blowing right now, and I would imagine that is pretty critical on those loops there. I imagine they're extremely dependent on the frequency they're cut for. the frequency they're cut for there, and if you find that things aren't loading too well, you have to make the mad dash out there to try to collect it. But you're coming in great. There is a station on the low side of us, just on the edge. You can hear them a little bit, but you are very, very clear. We had our first snowflakes of the whole season this morning. I guess it was just before noon. I saw a few flakes, just before 1 o'clock, before it became mostly sunny. There were just a few flakes flying around at that time, 33 degrees, 34 degrees, but that only lasted a couple of minutes, and I hadn't seen anything all season up to that time, and that's the latest ever. And since 1982, when I moved up here, that Jim, that I was so late not seeing any flakes. Other times, by this time of the year, they've had to plow the driveway at least twice or so. Oh boy, this is really weird. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. I am using the Milford PA SDR, and you're running about 15 over on that SDR. So I was copying you earlier on the mag loops, but probably about an 8 over noise level. So I always go for the least noise, and I have this 6-position rotary switch, which has the world on it, and I just go through and I go through in about a second and a half, and I can run through all of them, except for when I get to the mag loops, and then I have to refer over to my 3-position switch for that one. But usually I just leave that in the number 1 mag loop position, which is the north-south mode, pretty much. But anyway, gosh, this is a beautiful day here. We have had some rain most recently, and a lot of leaves. I'm inundated with leaves. We live right on the edge of a forest area, and gosh, those trees, we used to have a pool, which was not my doings, and eventually I managed to get rid of that thing because it was just terrible. You don't want a pool around a bunch of trees. Roger.
Oh yeah, all our leaves are gone. All our leaves are gone, Jim. They are off the trees. Looks like January as far as trees go. But all we had were a few scattered leaves. But this wind has taken everything off. But even yesterday, we were almost totally off on all the leaves. And those leaves can be quite a problem. When you're trying to drive and it's wet and the road is wet, it's raining, and the leaves are all over. You can skid on those just as well as you can skid on ice. Oh boy, I did get another small pole up. I've got it up. I've got a guy a little better. However, it's about 27 feet high. 27 feet high, and it was an awful job getting that in the ground. My good friend Bob, KB1IZU, assisted me on getting that in the ground because there was a 16-foot treated, and that's heavy, treated 4x4, a 16-foot 2x4 next to it, and starting up at about 7 feet or so above the ground. A 21-foot half-inch iron, a 21-foot half-inch iron pipe with T-connectors on either end, and oh boy, getting that in the ground, and that was under a pretty calm condition. What a job! And the ground was all wet clay, slippery underfoot. Both of us were losing our balance. It was awful. Okay, Jim, let me turn it back. I don't want to keep this away from other people, but it's wonderful the work you're doing. on listening to and encouraging new arrivals of new rigs to test out their equipment. Excuse my voice, it just started to go. By the way, here's Ian from Australia on here on 40.
Beautiful evening here. It's a beautiful mild evening. Just got in, and it's dark here already, of course, and time is just after 9 here. Okay, so it's over to you, Mike. WA30, it's Brent Smith with K1GZL and K4 Germany Bravo Zulu, 6 Kilo 3 Mike Oscar.
Okay, I'll just show you that conditions on 40 can be terrific. Actually, when I worked him, it was 6 o'clock in the morning, 9 p.m. Australian time, and as of now, as of Sunday morning, we'll be on the daylight, the standard time, and they'll be 14 hours ahead of us. Ye gad. So, KC9VKV, I didn't mean to make such a long one, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Gosh, he sounded really good there. I guess you guys have a morning QSO just about every morning there, and he does sound real good. And you guys have got all the street corners marked down on how to get from one place to the other. I'll have to join you. Maybe if nothing else, but just in the receive mode, because I know those frequencies I should not be on. So as far as transmit. But maybe I could copy you, or maybe I could get you guys to come up into my area and for a little while and get a QSO going. But anyway, Charlie, threes to you, sir, and thanks for helping us out and help us get going on the Qso-Vlog network. Roger. Get
going on the Qso-Vlog network. Roger.
Okay, beautiful copy. Yes, we're on it. I don't know. It's going to be late for Ian, but we're going to try to be on standard time, our new time. Well, we've been on at 6 p.m. or 1000 Zulu, but it'll be 1100 Zulu or 7 a.m. our time, 7 a.m. And I don't know if Ian is going to be able to keep that schedule too well, Jim, because he has to generally get up at 3:30 in the morning, and it will be 10 p.m. his time. So there will be days that we might miss it. It's going to be very hard with me because I'm an insulin diabetic, taking daily insulin for 55 years, and it gets a little bit rough for me to operate once they've changed the time to get on, with the new time an hour earlier. It would be very, very difficult, so I don't know how that's going to sugar off, but we're going to try to get on in the morning on the new time at 1100 Zulu, and that's on 7150, plus or minus a few either way, 7150. Okay, Jim, thank you so much for picking me up today, and you're doing a great job, and I'm glad I'm getting into Milford, PA. Quite often I skip over Milford. By the way, next week, being on standard time, you may find the skip longer. It may be better directly into the Louisville area, but it will be a little bit more skipping over on the shorter skip. KC9VKV, K1GZL. Always a good one, Jim. Thank you.
Roger, Charlie. Three set ways, sir. You have a real good afternoon and a great weekend. This is the KC9VKV Qso-Vlog network, and if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We are recording now live till 5, and then we'll post it up on YouTube, and you can go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. That will take you to our Qso-Vlog page, and on that page for today's today's QSO, you'll be looking for one entitled My Group Air Check 11/1/19. Today's date. My Group Air Check 11/1/19. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor listening.
This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor listening.